if you watch my latest cruise video, the Norwegian Jade, I just wanted to touch on, some comments that I made during the videos, especially like day one, day two. I didn't go into that cruise with the best attitude. I feel like I got duped a little bit. They gave me kind of a crap room, and it is what it is. Like, I've booked cruises before. I wouldn't say I'm a cruise expert, but I'm not a cruise newbie either. I've cruised on multiple cruise lines, and I've booked both. I've both selected my rooms, and I've also did the guarantee. And so this is my first time on Norwegian, and I use Vacation to Go. I always plug it. It's a great way to search multiple cruise lines and see what the best deals are. And sometimes they got cheaper rates, right? So I found this cruise on Norwegian. I've never done Norwegian. I've always said I would never do Norwegian because their port fees are twice as much as every other cruise line to go to the same places. So, for example, if Nassau is $100 for Carnival, Norwegian charges $200. But now that all the fees and everything are all encompassing, now it's more even keel. It's more even across the board. The prices are easy to compare. And so I found this great deal. And I will say a cool thing about Norwegian is they give a 10% military discount right off the bat. So that is great. And they have a great military program. When I was on the ship, I got a coin. I got a cool patch that is ship specific, which makes me want to go on more cruises, more Norwegian cruises to collect all the patches. But when I was booking the room, I booked a guarantee. And so my experience with guarantees, and what is my understanding, is they guarantee you that level of room or better. And so I've always said I like it Ocean View because they are the best balance between space, price, and you can still see it outside, right? Most Ocean Views have a couch and all that. Norwegian Jade doesn't, but that's beside the point. So as I was looking at the rooms, I started doing my research a little bit, and I saw that the obstructed view on the Norwegian Jade is only on deck 8. So now that I've cruised a little bit, I like my location too. Like I want to pick my location so that it's, halfway between the food or the Lido deck, and then, halfway between the lower levels where the bars and the theater is. And so doing my research, I saw that the obstructed views on Norwegian Jade, they are only on deck 8. And so I booked an obstructed view on the Norwegian Jade specifically to be on deck 8. That's the only reason I booked the obstructed view. Normally I wouldn't do that, but I saw deck 8. And I keep reiterating deck 8 because this is where the rub got me. And this is where this is the issue I had with it, was because when it came time to send me the paperwork and I got assigned my stateroom, I was on deck 5. And so the only reason I knew to check my I can't say the only reason. The reason I decided to check my account to see if my room was assigned was because Norwegian actually refunded me, $100. They refunded me a portion of what I paid for my room. And so I thought that was kind of odd. So when I looked, I saw I was on deck 5, which obviously is a lower deck, which bottom of the ship, we were right underneath one of the restaurants. Not a very desirable room, to be honest with you. In my opinion. So when I called them, and this is where I started getting irritated, is I called them, and the lady I talked to said the guaranteed rooms are not guaranteed. And then she told me that an unobstructed view is a higher class than the obstructed view. And then when I asked why I got a refund then, she couldn't give me an answer. And then I said, the only reason I booked the obstructed view was because I wanted the floor. And if I'd have known that there was a chance I was going to be on the bottom of the ship, I would have just went ahead and booked the balcony or picked my room. And so when I told her that, the only reason I booked the obstructed view was because I wanted the floor, deck 8, she was basically like, well, there's nothing I can do about it. In my opinion, and this is where I got irritated, and this is where I had such a negative attitude going into this cruise, which a cruise is still a cruise. I shouldn't have been that way. But, I went from deck 8, which they had the 24-hour restaurant, O'Sheehan's. They had a bar right down the street, or right down the hallway from me. A perfect location in my eyes, because the theater was on 6 and 7. Deck 8 had the 24-hour restaurant. And then I want to say it was like deck 12 was the buffet, the Lido deck. So to me, deck 8 was perfect. I chose that room specifically for that. So when she was just like, oh, well, whatever, there's nothing we can do about it. Like, it irritated me, rubbed me the wrong way, because I feel like most service industries, they would try to make it right, but she was just like, well, you get what you get. And, you're trying to tell me it's an upgrade, but I'm 3 decks lower, and then you refund me money. Like, if it's an upgrade, why did I get money back? And so I went into it, and that was like my whole, like, my comments about my upgrade, downgrade, the room I was supposed to have. And it just kind of like went along the whole cruise. Like, it just started off negatively. Overall, the cruise wasn't bad. I think Norwegian has the best drink package. It was the ticket fare, and then I think it was $30 a day extra for the drink package. And their drink package is unlimited, not like Carnival or Royal Caribbean where it's 15. No, it truly is unlimited, and you get 2 drinks per card. So like with me and Rose, we could get 4 drinks at a time, or we could get 2 doubles or whatever, So I thought that was cool, and there was no time limit. So like the drink package was awesome. They do have the best drink package if you're there to drink. I think entertainment wise, I think it kind of lacked. I don't think it was as entertaining as the Carnival, the Royal Caribbeans, or even MSC. The shows were okay. One big thing, and I said it during the cruise, is I wish I would have did my research a little bit better and brought a water bottle, or a reusable water bottle, because for some reason the drink package on Norwegian does not include water. So you can go to a bar, you can get a glass of water, but you can't they have aluminum cans for water. So you don't get aluminum cans. I can get a $8 beer in a aluminum can, but I can't get a $4 water in a can. So that kind of like irritated me too, but that one was my own fault. And the app didn't work for me at all. I reset it, I downloaded, I deleted it, re-downloaded. I couldn't get the app to work. So that was kind of another little minor irritants. But the military coin, the military patch, like that was awesome. So like it has its pros and cons. I probably, had I got the room I wanted, or had I got like deck 8 or even like deck 9 or deck 10 or something like that, I probably would have went in with a little bit better attitude, and probably would have had a more positive experience on the ship, probably a more glowing videos, if you will, a more upbeat videos, because I know I was kind of negative in some of those, like when I talked about it. But overall, I mean, it's still a cruise. Will I go with them again? As much as I want to collect the patches, I probably won't, just because I feel like Carnival and the other cruise lines. I keep saying Carnival, but I think the other cruise lines, I'm not as big a drinker as I was, say, 3 years ago. So the drink package is not my priority anymore. I do like the ships. The Norwegian Jade was kind of a smaller ship, I feel like. There wasn't a whole lot of entertainment, if you will. The shows weren't that great. It's not like the Carnival Celebration, which I know is a newer ship, but it's not like, 2 shows every night, multiple trivia, live concerts, live bands all over the ship. So it's I probably won't be going on Norwegian again, and it's nothing against them. I'm sure there are other ships. Their newer ships are great. The military package is great. The coin was cool. The patches are awesome. Like, that's a great touch. I think for the price, what you pay for and what you just get a better value on other cruise lines. That's all. If you like Norwegian, hey, good on you. I'm pretty far. Well, I'm not pretty far, but I have quite a few sailings on Carnival, so I'm probably going to try to finish out and get status on Carnival. Try to get my diamond or platinum, whatever one comes first. I don't remember, but I'm a few sailings away from that. It's a cruise, you know what I mean? Plus, I don't live near Miami, so maybe if I live near Miami, those cruises are a little bit cheaper than the ones that go out of Port Canaveral. And I just don't like driving down, 3.5 hours, 4 hours to Miami to go on a 3-day cruise, or else I probably would. Or, I'd probably be on the Celebrity a little bit more, the Reflection, because that goes out of Fort Lauderdale, and that one's pretty cheap. But to sum it up, I don't see myself going on Norwegian in the near future. Maybe at a later time, if they bring cheaper cruises to Port Canaveral, or if there's a cruise ship that comes out that just wows me, that I want to try, But At this point in time, I don't think the great drink package is enough to get me to go on another Norwegian cruise, or the patches. Like I said, those are pretty cool. I love that idea. And I wish, if this was my first cruise, I probably would be loyal to Norwegian and try to collect them all. But it's not. It's still a cool touch, though, and I still got the cool patch. But overall, still a fun cruise. I could have had a better attitude, I will admit that. But probably won't be doing Norwegian again. So just in case you were curious, when I talked about the bedroom or my stateroom and how it was a downgrade and all that. But if you made it this far, hey, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening to my rant and explaining myself a little bit better. I say I just, taking my negative attitude and just not giving me another shot. So if you made it this far, I appreciate you guys, and hope you guys have better experiences on Norwegian if you're going on it. And maybe I'll run into you guys someday on a future cruise. So until next time, have a great day. Bye.